But make no mistake, this woke virus is real and it ruins people's lives. After 13 years of Tory rule with 3 prime ministers in one...
Get ready, because what you're about to hear may completely change how you view British politics. Piers Morgan is back, and this time, his target is Keir Starmer. What followed wasn't just a verbal clash. It was a full-scale attack on Starmer's credibility, shaking the very foundation of his leadership. Morgan wasted no time accusing the Labour leader of evading responsibility, dodging interviews, and hiding from the tough questions that come with leading the opposition. But hold on, it gets even more intense. Morgan, known for his blunt approach, has built a career challenging world leaders, celebrities, and public figures, often leaving them shaken. But now, the spotlight is on Starmer, and with the general election fast approaching, the pressure is mounting. Morgan has raised a question that's now making waves across the political spectrum. Is Keir Starmer running scared? Is he avoiding tough interviews because he's not prepared? Or is he simply playing it safe, trying to protect himself from further scrutiny? This isn't the first time Starmer has faced accusations of evading tough questions. Critics have long pointed out his heavily controlled media strategy, choosing safe, curated environments instead of tough, unscripted interviews. He prefers interviews that allow him to stick to pre-planned talking points, avoiding any challenges that could catch him off guard. While this approach might spare him from immediate controversy, it paints a picture of a leader who's unwilling or unable to face difficult questions head-on. And let's be clear, a prime minister cannot afford to shy away from tough moments. The role demands resilience, sharp thinking, and the ability to stand firm when under fire. Starmer's reluctance to engage with someone like Piers Morgan only fuels doubts about his capability to handle the top job. Morgan isn't backing down. In a direct challenge, he told Starmer, "If you can't handle me, how on earth are you going to handle running the country?" That sharp remark has resonated with frustrated voters who are growing more skeptical of Starmer's leadership style. Many view his strategy as cowardly, a serious red flag in an era when transparency and boldness are crucial. Whether you agree with Morgan or not, his criticism has exposed a vulnerability in Starmer's leadership that even his most loyal supporters can't ignore. A prime example of Starmer's evasiveness came during his now infamous response to the question, "What is a woman?" What should have been a simple, clear answer turned into a confusing, muddled non-response. In today's political climate, where social and cultural issues dominate, the inability to give a clear stance on such a basic question isn't just a gaffe. It's a sign of a leader who's struggling to navigate complex issues. While other progressive leaders, like Australia's Anthony Albanese, have managed to provide clear and confident answers, Starmer's hesitation only reinforces the image of a man unprepared for the kind of scrutiny that comes with high office. But the controversy doesn't end with media appearances. Within the Labour Party itself, tensions have been brewing for months, if not years. A key example of this is Rosie Duffield, a Labour MP known for her outspoken views on gender and women's rights. Duffield's firm stance, defining a woman as an adult human female, has put her at odds with the party leadership, highlighting the deep ideological divisions within Labour. Starmer's inability to take a strong position on such issues has alienated both traditional Labour voters and those seeking a more progressive approach. Instead of uniting the party, Starmer has managed to drive wedges between key figures, creating a leadership vacuum that adds to the perception of weakness. Morgan's critique isn't limited to Starmer's handling of gender politics or his reluctance to engage in tough interviews. It's a broader indictment of his entire leadership style. Starmer presents himself as a man of principle, but his actions suggest otherwise. His avoidance of confrontation, his reliance on controlled media appearances, and his failure to address controversial issues head-on all point to a leader more focused on image than substance. In today's political landscape, this is a dangerous game to play. The frustration with Starmer isn't just coming from Morgan or the media, it's palpable among voters. Many feel that under Starmer's leadership, Labour has failed to present a strong alternative to the Conservative government. Instead of offering bold solutions to the challenges facing the UK, Starmer seems content to play it safe, hoping the Tories' mistakes will lift him up. But as Morgan has pointed out, this strategy is far from sustainable. Voters want a leader who can inspire confidence, tackle tough issues, and present a clear vision for the future. Right now, Starmer isn't delivering on any of those fronts. The real question is whether he can rise to the challenge or if his leadership will continue to crumble under the weight of scrutiny. If he can't handle someone like Piers Morgan, how will he cope with the relentless pressure of a general election campaign? And more importantly, how will he lead the country in the face of economic uncertainty, social division, and an increasingly unpredictable global landscape? These are the questions Starmer needs to answer, not in rehearsed interviews, but in the raw, unscripted moments that reveal what a leader is truly made of. For now, one thing is certain. Piers Morgan has hit a nerve, and Keir Starmer's leadership is under more scrutiny than ever. Whether you see Morgan as a provocateur or a truth-teller, his challenge has exposed cracks in Starmer's carefully constructed image. The question now is whether those cracks will widen into an unbridgeable chasm, leaving Labour's hopes for the next election in ruins. Time will tell, but one thing's for sure. This is a fight Starmer cannot afford to avoid. The political landscape in the UK has long been a battleground for power, strategy, and public perception. As we approach the upcoming general election, one figure stands in the spotlight more than most. Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party. But while Starmer has worked tirelessly to steer the party toward a potential victory, his leadership has been under increasing scrutiny, with his opponents and media figures alike questioning his ability to lead the nation effectively. And one of the loudest voices to challenge Starmer has been Piers Morgan, a seasoned media personality known for his controversial remarks and sharp criticisms. Piers Morgan's direct confrontation with Starmer has not only added fuel to the fire, but has also laid bare several weaknesses in the Labour leader's approach. Morgan's challenge goes beyond political rivalry. It's about questioning whether Starmer is truly prepared for the immense pressure and responsibility of leading the UK. With the general election looming and growing doubts about Labour's chances under Starmer's leadership, the stakes have never been higher. The early criticism. Starmer's evasive tactics. The roots of Morgan's criticism lie in Starmer's reluctance to engage in tough, unscripted interviews and debates. Morgan, who has built his career on putting people in the hot seat, hasn't shied away from grilling world leaders, celebrities, and public figures. However, it seems that Starmer, the leader of the opposition, is unwilling to submit himself to such rigorous questioning. One of the most pointed criticisms Morgan has made is Starmer's avoidance of interviews with difficult or challenging media figures. Instead of engaging with outspoken and critical voices, Starmer has chosen to stick to controlled environments, where he can stick to talking points and avoid any questions that might throw him off course. For a leader of the opposition, this approach is problematic. It raises the question, if Starmer cannot handle scrutiny in the media, how can he handle the scrutiny of leading a nation in a time of crisis? In politics, especially opposition politics, there's an inherent expectation that the leader will face tough questioning from all sides. The role demands that a leader demonstrate resilience, the ability to think on their feet, and the strength to stand firm in the face of pressure. Yet Starmer's repeated choice of interviews that lack genuine challenges paints a picture of a leader more concerned with controlling his image than engaging with the substance of the issues. This approach, while offering short-term safety, is risky. It suggests a leader who might be unwilling to face the tough conversations necessary to lead the country effectively. The ability to handle adversity is a critical trait for any prime minister, and Starmer's reluctance to engage in direct confrontation only highlights the gaps in his leadership style. The infamous "What is a woman?" gaffe. One of the most striking examples of Starmer's hesitance came during a particularly uncomfortable moment in a media interview. The question posed to him was simple: what is a woman? A direct, clear answer should have been expected from any leader of a progressive party. But instead, Starmer fumbled. What could have been a straightforward response turned into a convoluted, roundabout answer that left both critics and supporters alike confused. In an era where social and cultural issues are so prominent in political discourse, such a response is not just a gaffe. It is a symbol of a leader struggling to navigate the complexities of modern politics. Starmer's inability to provide a clear, confident answer to this fundamental question raises serious doubts about his preparedness for high office.